Hi, Margarita.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Margarita. Good afternoon. How are you?
Fine.
Everything's okay?
Everything okay today? Yes.
Okay. Okay, so let's see how things go today. No, since this is a very new thing for all of us.
Yes.
Here's my sister, here's Emanuel, YDYALA. Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Emanuel.
Hi, Ernesto.
Okay, thanks for coming. No, let's give a little bit time for the others to come. I expect some of the others to come, no? Okay, meanwhile, why don't you guys tell me how has been your long weekend? What about you, Emmanuel? Tell us.
Excuse me, Ernesto, about that? About my weekend?
Yes.
My weekend is very relaxed. I stay at home, chatting with my wife, making some workhouse, and resting, and taking advantage and study some English.
Okay, okay, that's good. And what about you, YDYALA? What you been doing?
Okay, no, let me change. Okay. Yesterday I had some lessons with Lucia. On Saturdays she has ballet, ballet dancing class and English class. So when she was in the different lessons, I took advantage to keep my work on time. Then we went to my sister's house for a delicious lunch.
Wow.
On Saturdays, we spent some time in family at my sister's house. And we went to do some to shopping because holidays is coming, so we need to buy some special things.
Okay.
And yes, this was yesterday. And today we went to play basketball.
Okay.
It was so funny. The problem today is the weather. It's not so good to practice sports, but we did it.
Okay, excellent. Okay, Diana, thanks for coming. Margarita, and your weekend? Hello? Are you there, Margarita?
Yes, it is. It's there. Fine. I really, Yala says all because yesterday was in my house and spent my time with the family. And today playing together basketball and and have lunch with my mother's house. And no more. No more.
¿Te recuerdas? A pesar de todo, creo que pasaré un momento. De acuerdo.
Okay. Okay. Since most of you are new in my class and you have seen each other on the forums, but not really interacted between each other. Why don't we start waiting time for the others to come, so we can get like a little presentation, you know? All of here, all present today, they're all my students. There's no speakers, there's no guests, only my students. Okay, so we can begin with that. So why don't we begin with you, Margarita, please.
My introduce, Ernesto. Yes.
Your introduction, because you're new in the group. Okay, so
Okay.
who you are, what do you do, what do you like? Okay.
Okay. My name is Margarita. I'm an environmental engineer. I working in Ecopetrol. I am a climate change professional. I like to spend time with my family, especially maybe watch TV, watch movies, cook for all family. Also play basketball on Sundays. Yes.
Yes.
And I married. I have a son. My son is 11 years old, and I have a pet. Its name is Pipo. It's a pug dog, and no more. It's all.
No more. Okay, thank you. Okay, why don't you continue, please? Emmanuel, you continue. A short presentation of yourself to the rest of the class.
Okay, I believe that the rest of the of people I know me. I introduce myself again. I'm Emmanuel. I live in Bogota since 3 years ago. I live with my wife. She is from Manizales too. I'm an electronic engineer. I work for a company of engineering. And my greatest goal for this year is improve my skills in English. Yes, continue learning, and it's a pleasure share with everyone this time and discuss about the short story. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, Alejandra, please. Nice to see you here. A brief introduction of yourself.
Hi, good afternoon for everyone, and sorry because I can put on my video yet, but later I can do it. My name is Alejandra CATACOLI. I'm from Bogota. I live right now in Washington, D.C. I am here because my work. I have a son. His name is Maximiliano. He's 6 years old. I am an environmental engineer. I like to read. This is my hobby, read books, and mostly of them are biographies or this kind of books. Yeah, and also I like poetry and environmental science books because it's my subject of interest. And I don't know. I born in Bogota. And all my life, or until the last 4 months, I used to live in Bogota, and no more. I am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Alejandra. Okay, Anna, nice to see you here. Why don't you give us a brief introduction of yourself, please?
Okay. How many students do we have today? How many are we?
Today we are 8.
8? Okay.
But some of them, they should come because it was kind of mandatory today, no? So a lot of missing. No? So please, Introduce yourself, Ana.
Okay. So I think that I know most of you, but my name is Ana. I'm from Bogota. I have two kids, Nicole and Christine. Well, there are no kids anymore. One of them is in Havana University and the other one is at Los Angeles Andes University. Right now, I'm working as a private banking in Credit Core Capital. I have been working in a brokerage firm for almost 15 years. When I graduated from high school, I went to United States in Ohio as a exchanges to improve my English all the time. So I try to read in English, and that's why I keep taking classes with Ernest, because that's the way I can continue talking in English and get more fluently. So you.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Ana. Okay, YDYALA, please, a brief introduction of yourself.
Hi, everybody. As you may probably know, well, my name is YDYALA PAVA. I am a very proud mother of a girl, let's see, 8 years girl, my daughter, Lucia. I've been working at Citibank the last 27 years. I'm responsible in the last role I have is I'm responsible for the control environment for the account opening process, account maintenance, basically. I live with my daughter, with my pet, is a very beautiful Labrador female. It's brown. And well, we love to spend time in family, sharing different activities. And yes, basically, this is my life.
Okay, thank you, YDYALA. Okay, today we have a nice special guest. No, many of you already know her. No, so but she's going to give a little presentation to us since that's the first task. So please, let's welcome Catalina from Sao Paulo. Please, Catalina, a brief introduction of yourself.
Hi, everyone. It's my sound okay?
Yes, it's okay.
It's really good to see you again. I'm Catalina Gavilanes. I live with my fiancé in Sao Paulo. I've been living here for 8 years in Brazil. I used to live 3 years in Rio de Janeiro, and now it's been 5 years since we are living in Sao Paulo. So it's really nice to see you again here. I'm a medical doctor. My specialization was in dermatology. That was the reason why I came to Brazil, because I wanted to be a dermatologist, and I had the opportunity to do my studies over here. So it's really nice to know you. I'm from Bogota. I have a really big family, 2 older brothers and my parents who are living still in Colombia, and I'm missing them, but everyone is okay right now. So I'm happy for that. Today we have another participant. I don't know if she can speak right now. I think she can't, but I invited one of my really, really good friends from Sao Paulo. She's KATIA, that she will be listening to you because she wanted to meet Ernesto and know more about our forums. So she's welcome today as well.
Okay, thank you. Yes, KATIA is welcome. Every forum and every reading club, she can be here. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you all of you for coming. I think that I didn't miss anyone. If later on KATIA wants to say something, just let me know. Okay, today we're going to be talking about this short story. Okay, it's the first reading club that we have, so it's going to be a little difficult. I invited one of my friends that he's a literature teacher, but unfortunately he couldn't come. His name is Thomas. Some of you already know him, that he lives in Switzerland. No, he's a professor there, a literature professor. But he promised me that he's going to set us another short story, and the next short story that we're going to read, no, he's going to be deliberating and debating with us about it, okay? But this one has to be between us. Okay, so first, I want all of you guys to prepare a little summary of this short story. No, one of you guys is going to start telling the summary, and then another one is going to continue, all right? So why don't we start with Emmanuel, please? How does start with the summary of this short story?
Okay, Ernesto. The Metro, the history by Joseph ESSBERGER, it is a history that have a contrast. On the one hand, there are a series of crimes that is necessary to solve. On the other hand, there is a story where the protagonist, the Inspector Dutroux, is involved in a romance outside of his marriage. Yes. Mm-hmm. The story began with a homicide in the metro of Paris, specifically at the Odious station, where was found a headless body. The Inspector Dutroux, one of the best policemen of Paris, was assigned to invest the crime. During the investigation, he found himself lost due he had not any track about the murder. In the following weeks appeared two more headless bodies in the metro with the same characteristics that one of the last murder. Without any track, the journalists and the politicians demanded answers about the case, but in that moment, the Inspector Dutroux was confused and he didn't answer to share with the public because he was very confused and he didn't any tracks. Additionally, he had other things that diverted his attention. As he shared with the best friend, Monsieur Chibaut, Inspector Dutroux had an enormous problem because he had knew a young dancer in a cabaret that she became his mistress. Undoubtedly, that situation didn't avoid that inspector were concentrated in the case. For lack of results about the crime, he was very criticized.
Okay, Emmanuel, excellent. So from there, please, sorry, why don't you, YDYALA, please continue with the summary? Thank you, Emmanuel.
Okay. Emmanuel already said most of things I have. No. Well, let me talk about Mr. Dutroux. Dutroux is a man around 40s. He's married with Mrs. Dutroux. Agnes is her name. And as Emmanuel mentioned, he has a lover. His lover is a very young girl called Bololona. And Mrs. Dutroux is really in deep love with Bololona. And the only he wants is to get a divorce from his wife, Agnes. Okay? As you can imagine, the dedication to the investigation was very reduced because the personal life of Mr. Dutroux interferes in his way to follow the investigation. Yes. There is another situation that really impacts the story, and is the pregnancy of Bololona. And obviously, this specific situation carry some additional problems and concerns to Mr. Dutrell. For that reason, Mr. Dutrell decided to go to a medium, the Professor Diaclovi,
All right.
to solve his personal situation.
Okay, thank you, YDYALA. Excellent. Okay, Anna, would you like to say something about the summary of this short story, please? Turn on your mic, Anna, please, your microphone.
Okay. Should I start the summary all over?
No. Continue.
Just continue. Okay. Okay. So the inspector was in love with Bololona. I didn't took notes like YDYALA. So he was in love with Boyola, and he was in a big trouble because she was pregnant. He didn't know what to do. At first, he was expecting that she get an abortion, but she decided she was thinking about keeping the baby. So he was in a real problem because he didn't know how to face the situation with his wife, because he wasn't in love with his wife at all, but he doesn't feel he didn't have the courage to leave her. So this inspector was in a difficult situation. So that's why he decided to talk to visionaries. I think is it like a visionary, the professor. He told his story and the situation that the inspector was facing with the lover and his wife. So the visionary asked him for money, like that he has to give him a lot of money and he has to pay 50% in advance. So the professor can help him to fix or find out what to do with the situation that he was facing. And after that, the inspector found out, he had a meeting. He has to find in a certain place at 4 o'clock in the morning with the professor. And the inspector wake up early in the morning and went to find the professor at that place. And he didn't say anything to his wife. And when he was on his way to the meeting point, the police was looking for the inspector because there was another 2 murders in the same station.
In the same way. Headless.
In the same station. And so he has to quit his idea to go to the meeting with the professor and go to do his work as an inspector. Should I keep talking?
Okay, Anna, excellent. Yeah? Thank you.
Okay, so when he got what?
No. Let's leave some, now let's allow others to continue, then I come back to you, okay? Okay, Anna, thank you.
Okay.
Margarita, why do you continue with this summary?
Okay, when after the meeting, the Professor Cavalli, Diacaboli and Inspector Dutrell and told about the ceremony for recovery the love of Bologna. After that, he agreement the ceremony when the Dutrell must pay 15,000. I don't know what is the count. 50,000. I don't know, dollars maybe, or no dollars, not
Euros.
True, yes. And then when Dutrell paid this money, the next day, the professor realized the ceremony, and then founded two women. One of them are 45 years. His name was Catherine Dubois, and she had a card in her hand. And the second woman is a younger woman.
Okay.
And when the Dutrell, the policeman called Dutrell for information that these murders. He went to the murder scene, and in that moment he thought that is your fault because their woman maybe were murdered for your fault because it was a part of a ceremony or sacrifice for recovery the Bologna's law.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Margarita, very good. Thank you. Okay, Alejandra, please continue.
Okay, but first I want to add that this is a story that was developed in the downtown of Paris during maybe the 20th century because it's before the metro start to work. Continue with that. I want to add also that during the story, they reported 5 decapitated bodies that all of them has been found into the metro stations. As the other person of the forum told, Inspector Dutrell was responsible for the research, and he count with the advice maybe of the detective constable, and both of them are following up the assassins and the murders during all the story. Meanwhile, they are trying to understand which are the situation. As Anna and also YDYALA told, the inspector had a trouble with himself related with the love that he felt for Bologna. She is a magazine young woman, and he tried to solve it, as Margarita told, using a magician. I suppose that his name is Professor Giacobli. At the point that Margarita stopped, in this point, the professor maybe try, or the author of the story maybe try to indicate us that the Professor Giacobli was or is the murderer, And this is because he said that according with the time, he have to go and and take the appointment that he had with the professor. And in that moment, he probably will solve the case. So we don't know at the end who is the guilty or he's guilty, sorry. And it's the end of the story. This man sitting in the police station, waiting to accomplish the appointment to solve the case.
Okay, thank you, Alejandra. Okay, students, so now I want all of you to think one question, no, hopefully a difficult question, not a question like what's the name of the inspector, no, and each one of you are going to choose to whom ask that question. But before that, we have as Catalina said, that she has a friend that wants to participate in our forums, and she's from Sao Paulo, so now she is going to introduce herself. We want to know her, okay? So let's give her 1 minute to introduce herself. So Katia, please, could you introduce?
Hi, everyone. I am Katia. I am 34 years old. I am from Brazil, in São Paulo. And I'm working as an investment advisor. I work for Santander. I have a son. He is 10 years old. His name is Dan. I live with my family. I like reading, watching series, spend the time with my friend Catalina too. I like her. He's a good person. And I am so happy to spend time with you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Katia, thanks for that introduction. And of course, you're welcome to my class and my forum, our forum, mine and my students, and you can participate anytime you want, okay?
Okay, thank you.
So you're welcome. Okay, students, so why don't we begin? We have in this session 7 minutes left, then we'll go to the second session. So why don't we begin with the question? So let's give Anna the first chance. She's going to first question.
I have a good question. I have a good question for all of us. I think for all of us. Why do you think is the reason why the murder severing, wait. Okay, why the bodies were headless, even though the whole body has the clothes, the rings, and other things that make easy to identify the person that was killed. So if they try to cut their heads in order to don't give any clue who was the person who was killed, why they keep the body with all the clothes and all the things that it was easy to identify who was the person who was killed?
Okay, Anna, good question. Good question. Okay, Alejandra, why don't you start with your opinion?
This is a really interesting question, Anna. So I suppose this thing. I suppose because the murder is okay, no? Okay. Murder, one, that the client knows that he commit the work. So he want to say, I did it, I solved your trouble, because at the end, I try to understand that someone is doing this as a way to solve a trouble of other people. So maybe he tried to do it in that way, and maybe he decapitate the bodies just to hide it, like a ritual or a ceremony or a magician situation or something like that, and try to appear that is another thing. It's not a work, maybe, I don't know.
Good possibility.
Severin.
Okay, YDYALA, what do you think? What do you think about Anna's question?
Okay, well, I think the same as Aleja said, mentioned about the ceremony. I consider it's the way to give more suspense and introduce an additional topic into the story. Yes. Because as my sister mentioned about the ceremony, the ritual, I consider a headless body can give to the story this emotion.
Okay, good answer. Okay, what about you, Emmanuel? What do you think about Anna's question?
First, it's an interesting question because I think that the story don't solve that question. Yes, it's possible imagine different reasons for the murder. Always decapitate his victims. Yes, and I think that is interesting part of the history and put some of the, I don't know, suspense. Yes, I think that is part of the history, but in the history is don't solve that question. It depends of the interpretation of the person that read the story.
Okay, but Emmanuel, let me ask you, what do you think is the reason why the murder severing the heads of the victims and leave all the evidence and the clothes and everything in the body? What do you think is the reason? Just to make the story.
No, I don't know. I'm not sure. Yes,
make the story.
Pick it up. Imagine, be creative. Imagine a possibility.
No, I don't know. Really, I don't
want to make a color with the heads.
Well, maybe Anna.
The problem, Anna, the real problem here is what the murder did with the heads. Because I don't know if you saw the story in Colombia about the woman that murdered his esposo. Husband. Well, sorry. Well, and she was captured because she did food with the body. The correct name is empanadas. She did a lot of empanadas with his body, but she yes, something like that. Empanadas. The real name is empanadas. And the problem was the head, because she couldn't do anything with the head, and for the head she was discovered. It's a very famous story, and it's a real story in Colombia. It's famous as women murders.
Okay.
So the problem is what happened with the heads.
The head.
Okay. Okay, this session is almost over, so I invite all of you, let's go to the second session, and we'll continue with these questions, okay? So please, all of you, go to the second question, second part. I'll see you there, okay? Ciao.
Okay.